Shalom, Ahab, La Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. First and foremost, facing the east, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Aha, Raka, Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years, not wavering to the left or to the right. Camps are falling apart all over the place, being exposed, but GMS is still standing strong in that 100% truth. So double honors to the elders that have stuck with it. And also, today we're going to do a class on whitewashing. So on here, literally, that's not what whitewashing is. It says a white liquid that is a mixture of lime or powdered chalk and water used for making walls or ceilings white. No, that is not the correct definition of whitewashing. Let me get it though, because there is a racial undertone to whitewashing. So let's get that. Let's get it. So, in the beginning, when the real term of whitewashing goes into acting, actually, and that's funny because that's what this guy is, Cesare Borgia. He's an actor. He's a liar. He's fake. So whitewashing refers to the practice of casting white actors in roles that non-white or erasing the racial identity of non-white characters to make them appear white. Okay? If you guys can understand that. Let's keep going. It also extends to prioritizing white actors, directors, and other creative roles over qualified people of color. This practice can be seen as a form of erasure, perpetuating a dominant white narrative and limiting opportunities for actors of color. So, also, let's just keep going. Historical erasure. Whitewashing can also involve the suppression or misrepresentation. Misrepresentation. Do you see that? A suppression or misrepresentation of historical events or figures. Particularly those involving non-white people, to present a more white-centric narrative. Culture preference. It can also refer to a preference for white cultures and traditions over those of non-white cultures, often at the expense of at the expense of marginalized groups. And let's keep going. Impacts on opportunities. This is all dealing with whitewashing. Whitewashing limits opportunities for, I'm going to not just use the word actors, I'm going to say for non-white people and other professionals of color by favoring white people and creative teams, even when people of color are equally or more qualified. So really, it's to have a more white-centric narrative when you go into it. So they want to suppress or misrepresent historical events or figures. So this is why they're whitewashing. Because they were trying to, but why are they, now we got a new question. Why does it matter so much for them to misrepresent what's going on? And as you can see right there, in the top, let me get this. Where Where I want to show you right there in the top right hand corner, you can see two guys and they're painting. And what they're doing is it's called replacement theology. They're replacing the original paintings with a whitewashed version. And I'm going to show you guys right now what's going on. I'm sorry, I was looking for something I can't find, so I give up. But okay, so you can see it for yourself. Right there in that top corner that they're being. Here we go. This one I'm looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Right here. There it is. Ha. All right. So, what I was going to say, now that I found one. So right here, see this guy? He's actually painting over the original photos. That's why when we talk about the Russian icons, that's why the Russian iconoclasm is so important. Before, after. So what are they doing? They're suppressing or misrepresenting historical events or figures. They're doing it on purpose. Now let's get into it, though. Now we understand that they're doing this on purpose, but we need to know, why are they replacing everything with their own image? Why are they putting this guy out and telling you he's the God or the son of Yahweh? Why are they doing this? Well, I want to show you guys right now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go into, we're going to start at Genesis. And we're going to start at verse 30, and we're just going to have to read it. So, Genesis chapter 27 and verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. So what happened? I'm gonna bring you up to speed. Sarah heard that was told by an angel. Let me just get it. We got to start. Let's go all the way. I'm sorry, it was Rebecca, first of all. That's why I need to get it right. I got to get it right. Salakia. I get the names of the women mixed up sometimes. Salakia. But, so... I want to get to the part. Here it is. This is Genesis 27 and 5. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went out to the field to hunt for venison. You know what? Let me start from the top. Salakia, everybody, Salakia. Let me start from the top. And this is Genesis 27, starting from the top. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, he couldn't see anymore, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old, and I know not the day of my death. Therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out in the field and take some venison, and make a savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, and my soul may bless thee before I die. So he was saying, I want to give you this blessing. You're my firstborn son. Go out and get the savory meat, and we're going to do the blessing right now. Okay? And verse 5, and Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went out into the field to hunt for venison, to bring it. And Rebekah spake to Jacob, her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before Yahweh, before my death. And now listen to what she says. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Go into the flock, and fetch thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. Okay, so his mom's saying, get out there and get me some get me a couple goats. I'm going to cook this meal for him right now, and you're gonna get this blessing. And so Jacob follows his mother's instructions reluctantly, and so let's jump up to verse 30. So what happened is Esau went out to hunt for some wild venison, and Jacob's mom went straight to the kitchen and started cooking. And she was doing it for Jacob. And so once it was all said and done, the food was presented to Isaac, and he thought it was Esau. So he didn't know that it was Jacob giving him the food. Now, let's jump down to verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou comest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. So Jacob, through the direct command of his mother, and his mom was also told by an angel to do this, but we're going to stick with what we got right here. So Jacob came in and took the blessing. But the blessing was never for Esau anyway. And I'm going to prove that. I'm going to prove that right now. But he was never supposed to get the blessing. So let's get back to the reading. So anyway, and when Esau heard the word of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came in with subtlety, and he was real subtile, you know what I'm saying? And hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing, and hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So he's telling him, don't you have anything for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He started crying. He's lost the blessing. He started crying. Okay? He realized and also it already said that he he had already done this. He's taken him out twice now. So let's see what he's talking about. Let's see what he's talking about. Where is it at? It's, I got to get it. Let's just get it. It's Genesis 20. Genesis chapter 25, KJV authorized. And go down to verse 31. Okay, so I'm going to start at verse 28. So this is important because he just said that he's taken from him twice now. He's supplanted me these 2 times. So let's see what it's talking about. Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau, but he did eat because he did eat of the venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field and was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee. What that same red pottage? For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Edom, red. And Jacob said, sell me thy birthright. Whoops, my bad. And Jacob said, sell me thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So wait a second. So that's why he said he took him out 2 times. So he took his birthright, right? He stole his birthright is what he's saying, but he didn't steal it. He sold his birthright. So let's read 36 again. So going back over to Genesis 27:36, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. So now we're getting into it. So these guys right here in front of you, they're doing this replacement theology because they are trying to get the blessing back. They're trying to put everything back to make it like Esau is going into the kingdom. But, and this is the reason why they do this too, because Esau wants his kingdom, but he doesn't realize that he is the ruler of this kingdom. I don't know how he doesn't realize that. He wants the best of both worlds. Job 9:24. He wants the best of both worlds. So that's why that's why he's doing all this. He wants to take back the birthright and the blessing, if you guys can understand that. So let's go to Job 9:24, and let's get it in the NLT. The whole earth is in the hands of the wicked, and Yahweh blinds the eyes of the judges. If he's not the one who does, if he's not the one who does it, who is? Let's read in the King James. That's not what it's saying. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So that means something. So we're the real judges, the prophets. They come and teach the truth after all these years of you guys being involved in this lie right here that's in front of your face. So the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the real judges. You see them painting over it right now? That's what they're doing. They covered the faces of the real judges, and they put themselves in that image. They want to be the god of the earth. They're the gods of wickedness, though. They covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So if it's not these guys that are ruling the earth in wickedness, where and who is it? Who is the wicked if this isn't the wicked? You tell me. I'm trying to figure it out now. Let's in fact, like I said, he thinks and wants to immortalize himself as the god of this earth. So he does this campaign where they literally replace everything with their own image. That's what whitewashing is all about. It's taking things that are non-white and then making them into so-called white. All right, so let's jump around a little bit. In fact, so like I said, he wants to be the god of the earth. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So what does the wicked do? I'll tell you right now. This is what they do. They make laws against us, right? They make laws to make sure that we can't follow our own culture. And that goes all the way back into the Maccabees. That's Maccabees chapter Maccabees chapter 2, 6 and 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feast days, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So what do? They make it illegal for us to show follow our own culture. That's it. They're making it illegal for us to follow our own culture, to have our Sabbath days, ancient feast days. But when we profess ourselves to be a Jew, you know that this law still exists to this day. All you have to do, and you know, I'm not a Kanye fan or a Kyrie Irving fan or a Nick Cannon fan or a Kodak Black fan, but they all have something in common. And even Kendrick Lamar, they all have something in common. They proclaim themselves to be Jews. And what happened to them? Kendrick Lamar had to make an announcement saying that it was just this, that, and the third, and he was about to lose everything. Kyrie Irving had to give a donation of $100,000 to the Muslims, but he claimed himself to be a Jew. But as soon as they started talking about taking everything away from him, he folded like a napkin. Kanye West, he was stubborn. They took $900 million from him. So it's still illegal. It costs money these days to proclaim yourself to be a Jew. And the funny thing is that this decree went out to the whole, to all of the neighboring cities. So, and it says right here, moreover, there went out a decree to the neighboring cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifice. Verse 9, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, so if you won't become a Gentile, you should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. So if you weren't going to conform and become a Gentile, you were going to be put to death. They made it illegal for you to keep the laws, and they're doing that for a reason. And this is 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. So now that you aren't allowed to keep the laws, this is what they did. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their own images. They sought to paint the likeness of their own images. What is he doing right there? What's he doing? He wants, what is this? Before, after. Why is this? Well, what happened here? You see what I'm saying? They sought to paint the likeness of their own images. So that's how we get this. But why do they do all this? Because of the birthright. They want the birthright back. But I want to show you something about that birthright. This is Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know that how that afterwards he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place for repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. You got that? He wants the blessing back. So he's trying to replace everything. That's what replacement theology is all about. Putting Esau back in the rulership position, even though he's not going to be in that position. He's ruling right now in wickedness. But he wants this position. He wants you to see him as the present day God of heaven. And he does. In fact, this goes directly in to inheriting the blessing that he's never going to get. And there's no place for repentance for him. And I can prove that too, that there's going to be no place for repentance for him. Let's get that too. Oh, dang. I didn't even call it out yet, and my computer just popped it right up. It knew I wanted to go to the book of Obadiah. Isn't that crazy? Come on. I can't believe that. It went to the book of Obadiah, but only wants to give me the NIV, because the NIV's definitely been tainted. So, come on. Stop playing with me. Trying to give me everything but the King James. I like the King James Version personally. All right. Going down. So Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk upon the holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So, and let me just keep reading. But upon the Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Oh, just Zion? It doesn't say the whole earth, it just says Mount Zion. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. So guess what? They're trying to steal the birthright back, because for some reason they think, oh, well, Jacob stole the birthright, so we're going to steal it back. That's not how it works. You guys have done a lot, and the whole point is that you want this. You want to have the birthright back. You want that blessing back that's not yours. It never was yours. And if you guys could understand that, and let me show you why. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. You're a fornicator. You're a profane person. There's no way the Most High would have ever considered putting you in the kingdom. You got to understand that. The reason why Esau should have had the blessing and the birthright, though, is because he's the oldest. But he ruined that. So, and this is Esau in a nutshell. Who opposeth and exalteth him? This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. This is how the Edomites really think. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. So he's stealing back the birthright, and he's trying to show everybody that he's the God of the earth. So what does he do? He paints his picture on everything, telling you he's the God of the earth. And it's funny because what is he doing? He thinks to change the times. That's crazy, right? So let's get it. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. That's us, telling us you're not the real Israelites. You guys are just black Hebrew Israelism. You Africans just need to go back to your own culture. So why are you guys painting over our pictures then? What is the Russian icons? So what do? You exalt yourself as the Most High. And think, let me read it again. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High and wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. I just showed you in 2 Maccabees 66:6 that they took away the feast days, the high holy days. We're not even allowed to call ourselves by our true name, Jews. So think about it. Anyway, let's read it. Let me read it again. Daniel 7:25. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and the laws. And they shall be given into his hand, Salakia, until a time and a times, and the dividing of time. So for a certain amount of time, we're going to be under this wicked oppressor. And he's going to speak great words against the Most High, and he thinks he is the Most High, though. He's really trying to sit himself in that seat, calling himself the Most High. That's why he thinks he can change the times and the laws. He thinks he can change the image of Yahushai. This is literally changing the image of Yahushai so you can say, no, we're the real gods. We're the real gods. Look at us. Worship us. But none of this adds up when you go into the Bible. None of this adds up other than this person is trying to use replacement theology to steal back the blessing and the birthright. So I think I've made my point. I don't see anything else here that I can really. I mean, at this point, it'll just be beating a dead horse. So as you can see, the reason now, the question is, why whitewash? The answer is because Esau is profane. He's a profane fornicator, and he was rejected, and he has no place of repentance, and his ashes and smoke shall rise up forever, and no one will ever go to Edom again, or no one will. Anyway, they're going to be destroyed. Salakia, starting to go up. So they're trying to fight off that that destruction that's coming for them. I mean, you guys heard it in Obadiah. They're literally they're going to be destroyed at the end of all this. So they're trying to steal back the birthright. That way they can say, no, not us, those guys. But that's not going to work. In fact, I'm going to go back into Obadiah just one more time because I want you guys to know that this is definitely only talking about the Edomites. Well, I mean, and the heathen nations, but this is literally written to the Edomites, for the Edomites. And Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. You are going to be taken out. And that's why when you go into Exodus 1:10, it talks about let us deal wisely with them, that they do not rise up. So it's all the same. All of this is a perfect harmony right now. They're being exposed, and at the same time, they're still saying that we're not the children of Israel. All the while, you can clearly see that they're painting over the true images of the children of Israel. And they're leaving us with this. And now you got a bunch of weirdo Christian cultists that literally run around screaming, Jesus! And this is who they're calling for. This is Satan, guys. Here's the original. Here's the original photo of him right here. You see that in the bottom, that bottom right here. That is the original Cesare Borgia by Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, there you have it. So with that being said, if you got eyes to see and you got ears to hear, I hope you were able to get a little something out of this message. Shalom.